Hi and welcome to Golf FM. This is a test on the new P790 that's just come out, the 2025 edition, the revised one, against the I530. I thought this is a test that needed to be done. These two will be going up against each other, no doubt, in a lot of customers' minds. 7-iron set coming in at 12,499 for both, virtually the same everywhere you look in terms of price. So expensive, but good. P790's been around for a while. I5 series has been around for a while as well. Both hollow-bodied players, distance irons. So basically a game improvement club in the guise of a better players club. So thinner top line, forged face for soft feel, slightly smaller club head, possibly than a standard game improvement club, and obviously looks a bit like a blade on the surface of it. The P790's had a few revisions. They're claiming 24% more forgiveness on the face in terms of the sweet spot, as they describe it. So they've worked on it, they've potentially improved it. It's got an AI face where it's thickened in certain areas to represent where people generally hit the ball more often and provide a little bit more support in there. Speed slot, it's got foam in the middle, it's got flighted weighting so that the long irons go up in the air a wee bit more and the short irons go down. So it's got various different things in it, a lot of technology, as does the I530, again, forged face, hollow-bodied. The face in the P790 is made a little bit stronger than it was before, so that allows it to be thinner and it can flex more and give you more ball speed off the face. So powerful irons. 29 degrees for the 7-iron on the I530 and 30 degrees on the P790, which is half a degree stronger than the previous year's model. In terms of looks, they both look amazing, I would say. I actually use I530, I'll just announce that now, but in no way will I be biased towards it in this test. I just genuinely want to see whether I should have waited and got P790. So in terms of looks, I think the P790 actually looks slightly better than the I530, but again, looks are in the eye of the beholder, completely subjective, doesn't really matter what I say, but I think it wouldn't be a hard argument to make to say that the P790 on the back of it is almost more bladey, nicer looking even than the I530. In terms of the overall size of the club heads, they're very similar. The sole widths are pretty similar. In fact, the P790 looks slightly smaller. Heel to toe, it looks shorter. Height-wise, it's probably a little bit smaller than the I530. Generally, it's a little bit smaller than the I530. In terms of top line, when you put them down, there is very little in it. Yes, you can see that the I530 looks a little bit bigger in terms of heel to toe. There's certain views, certain angles where you put it down, and I would say the I530 top line almost looks slightly slimmer. And then there's other angles where it just looks identical. There's not a lot in it. I've tried measuring these with tiny little devices to pinpoint exactly what top line is actually thinner. But it's very difficult the way it's rounded off. Very difficult to decide where you take the measurement from. So it's really just should be done by eye, and there is very little in it. It's a slightly more squared off club face, club design, the P790 than the I530. It's a little bit more rounded, maybe the I530. Slightly more condensed grooves on the I530, whereas they're further apart on the P790. But generally both look really nice. Offset, nothing much in it to the eye, almost identical, very little offset. I could easily use this P790, I really like the look of it. Same shaft I use on my own. This is actually my 7-iron. Dynamic Gold 105 S300. Exactly the same shaft in the P790. So we'll hit them both around about 10 shots. Half decent ones to really good ones. We'll take out any absolute shockers and match them up again at the end and look at the stats. Club down behind the ball. Again, looks really nice. Exactly what I'm looking for. Very little offset, thinnish top line. Nice club head, really nice club head. Let's see how it feels, because that's one of the big important things here. I'm fully expecting, actually, with the difference in loft, the I530 should go further. But what is going to be interesting is how is the flight, how's the spin, how's the descent angle on each? You know, which is actually the better club to be playing with here, because they're not going to go that much difference in distance, but I would fully expect that the I530 should go a little bit further. If it doesn't, then the P790 is really on to a winner. That felt like a decent strike. Felt quite nice off the face. It wasn't massively soft, but it felt really powerful. Oh, it's a good start. So it's at 177, carry 192, descent angle 47, launch angle 21, that's quite high for me in a 7-iron. 4737 spin, it's a wee bit low on the spin, but very good descent angle, so it's coming down fairly steep and will stop. Good distance though, 192. Total distance, I mean, 177 carry. It was an okay strike. I don't think it was absolutely as good as the first one. It was pretty close though. 170 there, 184, 45 degree descent angle, 49 on the spin, 19. A wee bit low on the spin so far. Decent strike, probably gone a little bit left. Might go quite far. 178 in the air, 192. Spin finally got up to 5,000 at least. Quite a low launch there, 16, but 42 descent, so still not too bad. That was okay, I think. Nice straight shot. 172, 186. Decent descent angle, spin over 5,000, so that's pretty good figures. That felt good. It wasn't absolutely pummeled, but yeah, 170, 183. Spin all pretty good, and descent angle and all that pretty good, so let's go again. Decent, I don't think as pure as the other one, but left, yeah, pulley, that bad. 174, 188. Spinning everything else pretty good for these sort of clubs. Descent angle good. Might have to count it, or it could be here all night. Yeah, 172, 189, it was better than I thought. It did better than I thought. And again, forgiveness, right? And when they're talking about sweet spot and 24% more forgiving and all the rest of it, take that as 24% better at holding on to the distance when you don't hit it that well. Don't take it as 24% nearer the target and straighter, because the club face and the club doesn't know if you've aimed 20 yards right at the target and done a perfect swing and you're going to hit 20 yards right at the target. It doesn't know to say, well, hang on a minute, let's zero. It's not a heat seeker. It doesn't heat seek to the flag. It doesn't know where the flag is. So forgiveness is holding on to distance. So like when you hit one straight, you know you haven't caught it properly. These clubs do a lot better than likes of a Blade or P770 or P7MC. Those clubs, Blueprint S, they'll fall out of the air quicker than these will. These will hang on to a less than perfect strike much better than a lot of clubs. In fact, almost equally as well as any sort of game improvement club does. They're pretty close to that. Nah, that's shocking. I'm going to take that out, but let's just see what it does, because it was shocking. Yeah, 160 in there, 176. So even that didn't do that bad. But I'm not leaving that in for the stats, because if I did that, they'd be all over the place. We've got to have some semblance of sense to it. I'm getting there slowly but surely. It's sort of glacial pace at the moment. That was a lovely thing. That felt so nice. It's really, so I'm going to head out the middle, but what a lovely feeling that had. So that's your forged face for you. An explosive feel as well. 175 for 190, 45 degree descent angle. Spin was a wee bit low at 47, but if it's coming down at 45 degrees, it's got a chance. 18 degree launch, so all pretty decent there. Pretty good again, a little bit left. Trying not to swing from the inside, and occasionally just pull it across a wee bit. 176, 193, spin awfully low there, but still descent angle getting into the green, 42, not as quite as good. But I did pull it quite a bit left. I'm going to keep it in because I want to get home before it turns into the next day. That felt heely. See, that's the sort of one I'm talking about in terms of the forgiveness aspect. What's that done? 169, 183, and that was quite heely. So it nearly got up to the 170 carry, which is what they seem to all be getting over. Yeah, that was good. Good forgiveness. Yeah, that'll do if it counts it. Yeah, that was nice. Not as good as that flushed one I hit earlier, but 170 for 185. So good, felt powerful, felt nice and soft when I hit it out the middle. Really, really nice, and like the look of it. So yeah, good. So back to my club, my bread and butter. Definitely looks a bit longer when I put it down. Slightly disappointingly longer actually. I almost like the fact that that P790 is a little bit shorter. So well done to the P790 designers that they made it a little bit more compact looking. Because I think the key with this is I would love my clubs to look like the Blueprint S or the P7MC. But I want them to go like this. Don't want them to be as unforgiving as those clubs are. And the closer they can get to that look, the better for me. So the P790 is actually closer, a little bit longer. The top line on this almost looks slightly thinner, but it definitely looks a little bit longer. Offset just about the same. Pretty good. I hit a few like that with the P790. Maybe not 100%, but pretty close. 177, 191, so that's good forgiveness. 45-degree launch, descent angle 18, and then spin at 4.9. So similar sort of figures. It's gone quite far. Remember, I expect this to go a little bit further, maybe. Good, but I think I've hit it slightly right. It was a good strike. I get the face open. Might take a little bit off it. Still went 175 in there and 188. Spin went up because I had the face open and everything else was still okay. That felt nice. That felt like a rocket. Nice and soft. Went off fast. 179 in the air, 194. So it already feels like it's going a little bit further. Yeah, I don't know, not my best swing ever, but it might be okay. Yeah, 176 for 190. Again, the forgiveness aspect's brilliant on this. And that's what I love about it. I had Blueprint S for most of last season and I moved to this recently because I just got fed up coming up 20, 30 yards short of the target with the Blueprint S. Just not good enough, not playing enough. It's as simple as that. I think maybe if I was playing non-stop, working on my swing, there's a chance I could have got Blueprint S to work, but the amount I'm actually playing and the way I swing, nah, it was wishful thinking and I should have known better. Got seduced by the looks. Never a good idea. I mean, good but not flush mode central, as I sometimes would say. Again, 174 for 191, so it's easy distance. Better strike, it feels nice. They both feel soft and nice and have that kind of forged feel about them. 179, 194, and yeah, the spin's a little bit, the descent angle's making up for it. Nah, a bit off the bottom, but I did hit one like that with the other club, so maybe just keep that in. 172, 185, yeah, not quite as well hit, but again, did okay. And that was really good. Nice strike, a little bit left. Feels nice, they both feel nice. 180 in there, 196. Did hit a little bit left, so I probably closed the face a touch. De-lofted it. I'm getting a good solid strike. Didn't. Oh, it did. Just took ages. Thank you. So Skytrack had done a number on me. 175, 190, and only, wow, one left. This has got to be a record, not remotely sweaty. That's probably good enough in terms of strikes, a bit right. And it might get over the 170 mark carry, so I'll just go with it. Yeah, 177, 190 again. Just did unbelievably well in terms of forgiveness. So that was impressive, and I have a feeling it's going to be showing a little bit of an advantage for the i530, but let's see by just how much. Okay, so the figures, we've got ball speed of 118 on the P790 and 120 on the i530. If you look though at the club head speed, 83 mile an hour and 84 miles an hour on the second batch. So I potentially swung a tiny bit better on the second batch, only by a little bit. I mean, it's an average. Smash factor is very close as well, but slightly in the favor of the second batch as well. So take that into account, but the ball speed is potentially faster off the i530, mainly because it's 1 degree stronger. You get that when you get less loft. So that's not unusual. It's pretty close. Backspin is very close, 4779 on the P790 and 4849 on the i530. Other notable ones, carry 173, P790, 176 on the i530. So it's going a little bit further, and I think that's probably true even if the batches were identical. I think it still would go a little bit further. It's not that much though. And I don't think it's enough to sort of say, well, you should definitely buy the i530 because it's really close and it's 30 degrees, so it's weaker. 188 total and 191 total. That actually does figure in my thinking because on these golf courses that we played in Scotland, that total distance figure is actually quite relevant. But I know carry for most of you is the main thing, in which case there's only 3 yards of difference, which isn't a lot. And descent angle 44, so they're both pretty decent and the same. So in a way, I'm quite impressed that the i530 kept up with the P790 on the spin front and the descent angle front. I think that's quite good that it did that. So it shows that there's some sort of design feature in there that is trying to still give you some launch and descent angle and spin, even though it's quite strong lofted at 29 degrees. The P790, it's pretty close. You know, I really don't think you go wrong with either of these clubs. You really wouldn't. They're both extremely forgiving. I got that feeling when I didn't hit them properly that the ball was still going really well. It was not falling out of the air quickly at all. Really, really forgiving. And in terms of the looks then, you would think I'd be biased towards i530, but I admit that I think the P790 is potentially nicer looking. But again, that's just eye of the beholder, doesn't mean a thing really. But I did like as well how the P790 was a little bit shorter in the blade. So when you put it down, it actually looked a little bit more compact, which I really like. So when I'm coming to change these pings, which I've only just got them, so I'm not going to be changing them soon, and the P790 is still going down this route of a little bit more compact, because there might even be another model out by the time I come to change it, I'm definitely going to take this a little bit more seriously and maybe try this. I thought before the top line on the ping was noticeably better than the previous model of P790, but this has definitely stepped up its game, so I am impressed with it. I could easily use it and I would highly recommend it to any of you. So two really good clubs, as I say, you can't go wrong. If you've got any questions on them, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And once again, thanks for watching, and if you could subscribe, that'd be brilliant. And a like would be nice as well if you could do that. And I'll see you in the next one.